Okay. Alright, so you see we're in a meeting? You're interrupting my meeting. Go sit down, please. Okay. So, have you ever wanted to make something but you didn't know how or what to use? Tell me about it. Mhm. Mhm. I'm not going to talk as much this time. You'll have to talk more. So, have you ever wanted to make something but didn't know how or what to use?
Yeah, I tried to make a bike before.
Okay, tell me about it.
I haven't used.
Like what?
I didn't know what to use it.
Why did you want to make a bike?
Because I didn't have one. But
Mhm.
now I do.
Okay.
I tried to make a cake,
Mhm.
and I followed all the recipes, but it turned out bad.
How did it turn out bad?
We didn't.
Go sit down, please, young lady, right now.
I don't really know how it turned out bad.
Mhm. Okay.
I tried to make a top hat with
Mhm.
like orange felt, but I didn't have enough, and I didn't know how to make it like fit where I could actually wear it on my head. I tried to make it fit like winter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you all for sharing that. I really appreciate it. Um. So we're going to read this book today, where the character wants to make something magnificent. As I read it to you, I want you thinking about what the author wants to learn. Remember, that is the theme of our text. Whatever the author wants us to learn is the theme of our text. So, this is The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. Okay. This book is a great book. Okay. Here we go. This is a regular girl and her best friend in the whole wide world. They do all kinds of things together. They race, they eat, they explore, they relax. She makes things. He unmakes things. One day, the girl has a wonderful idea. She is going to make the most magnificent thing. She knows just what it'll look like. She knows just how it will work. All she has to do is make it, and she makes things all the time. Easy peasy. First, she hires an assistant. Next, they gather their supplies. They set up somewhere out of the way to work. The girl tinkers and hammers and measures, while her assistant pounces and growls and chews. When she is finished, she steps back and admires her work. She walks around one side. Her assistant examines the other side. It doesn't look right. Her assistant picks it up and gives it a shake. It doesn't feel right either. They're shocked to discover that the thing isn't magnificent or good. It isn't even kind of, sort of okay. It is all wrong. The girl tosses it aside and gives it another go. So, what would you do if you were her? If you thought about making this most magnificent thing, but it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to do, wanted it to turn out, what would you do if you were her now at this point? Tell me more.
I basically just throw it aside and rip it apart and try to make a new one. But I'd probably be so frustrated I'd have to wait like 500 hours.
Okay.
Wasn't.
Okay.
I'll try again, but then probably won't work and I'll give up until the next day.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'd work on it until I became white.
Persistence.
Yeah. Hey, Miss Phillips. Miss
Okay.
Phillips.
Try it again. Okay. Very good.
My desk is not squeaking anymore.
Very good, Mariska. I need you to continue playing with your Play-Doh, please.
I am.
Okay. She smooths and wrenches and fiddles. Her assistant circles and tugs and wags. When she is finished, she stands up and takes a long look at it. Her assistant gives it a nudge with his paw. The thing is still wrong. She decides to try again. The girl saws and glues and adjusts. She stands and examines and stares. She twists and tweaks and fastens. She fixes and straightens and studies. She tries all different ways to make it better. She makes it square, she makes it round, she gives it legs and antenna. She makes it fuzzy, she makes it long, short, rough, smooth, big, small. One even smells like stinky cheese, but none of them are magnificent. Her hard work attracts a few admirers, but they don't understand. They can't see the magnificent thing that she has in her mind. She gets mad. The angrier gets, she faster she works. She smashes pieces into shapes and she jams parts together. She pummels little bits. Her hands feel too big to work and her brain is too full of all the not right things. And if only the thing would just work. Crunch! The pain starts in her finger. It rushes up to her brain and she explodes. It is not her finest moment. Okay, so I want you guys to think of a time when you failed at something. I want you to tell me about a time when you failed at something and felt like her. Tell me.
I was making cookies, and then every time I'd get them out of the oven, they'd be doughy. And I tried like 5 times, and they would still be doughy. I finally put them on a long time, then they burned.
Okay, thank you for sharing. What did you learn from it?
Not to put them on too long.
Not to cook them for so long? Okay, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Go ahead and listen.
Is that hurt? Messing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then my brother cried. We got it right. I got mad.
Okay, what did you learn from that lesson?
Pay attention to the directions.
Hayden
said if he wants to use the bathroom. One day I was getting out pizza and I forgot the what do you call it? The things you put on your hands. Muffins.
The oven mitts.
And I forgot those. And I started peeing. I threw it on the table and it broke the thing. And I had burnt my finger like all around here.
Oh, so what did you learn from that?
I was making
For sure.
I was making a stuffed animal once, and then like other things, and I worked on it like nonstop. It was pretty good, but then I almost burned half my cottage. But I was still gonna continue. Why not? But my sister forced me to stop because yeah, I got like
Mhm. Okay. Well, thank you all for sharing. I appreciate that. Oh, do you want to share your dream? I'm sorry. Forgive me. Please share.
well, and we did like a lot of projects, and then some they didn't even give us instructions, and then I kept on messing up for them not giving me instructions.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Hmm. What did you learn from that?
teacher should give me instructions.
Okay. Thank you for sharing, you naughty child. Okay. So here we go. Okay. I am no good at this. I quit. Her assistant suggests a walk. It's the most help at first. It's not much help at first. Would you like to join us for our story time?
Can I go to the restroom and finish playing with her?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Okay. It's not most help at first. But before long, she starts to feel different. Bit by bit, the mad gets pushed out of her head. As they stroll along, she comes across the first wrong thing she made. The bad feelings are about to start all over again. Then she noticed something surprising. There are some parts of the wrong thing that are quite right. The bolts on one, the shape of another, the wheel to seat ratio of the next. There are all sorts of parts that she liked. Sorry, these pages are sticky. By the time she reaches the end of the trail, she finally knows how to make the magnificent thing. She gets to work. She works and carefully she works carefully and slowly, tinkering and hammering, twisting and flipping, gluing and painting. Her assistant makes sure that there are no distractions. The afternoon fades into evening and finally she finishes. She alerts her assistant. There are no distractions. The pair take a good long look. It leans a little to the left, and it is a bit heavier than expected. The color could use a bit of work too, but it's just what she wanted. They climb aboard and take it for a long spin. They are not disappointed. It really is the most magnificent thing.
Wow, all that for just wow, that was
Okay, so we are going to write and share about the overall message of the text. I have made this graphic organizer for you that is going to help us organize our thinking. We will think and write about events as they have happened. We are going to use the squares to put the big events in order. So, what do you think started the journey? Okay, what do y'all think started the journey?
Huh?
making things. The girl,
Making things.
like the big thing that started it is the girl saying, "I can make the most wonderful, best invention ever, and nothing will stop me."
Okay, well, so did she say exactly like that?
I know, but that's how she acts throughout the story.
Yeah, okay, so what did she think, guys?
She thinks she can make the most magnificent thing.
Okay, so right here in this first square, in this top square right here, we're gonna write, she thinks she can make the most magnificent thing.
It's both so I can see us on camera.
Mm-hmm.
No, turn, look. Okay, she thinks.
Here's how you spell magnificent. Okay? Oh, okay, I'll wait. It is a little bit small, but that's good. Okay, so she thinks she can make the most magnificent things. What's the next big part of the story?
She tries to make and she keeps messing up.
Okay, hold on. First, she has to start making it, right? Okay. So how are we gonna write that?
She starts making the magnificent thing.
Okay, she starts to try making the most magnificent thing. Does that sound like a good sentence? Okay. Nope. Okay, so right here in this next box, you're gonna write she starts to try to make magnificent thing. Okay. So then what happens? So she thinks she's gonna make it. She starts to try to make it. What happens next? Hold on. Bella, can you tell me? What happens next? So here she starts to try to make the most magnificent thing. What happens next?
She tries, but she doesn't like the way how she makes it.
Okay, so what does she do?
She makes new ones.
Okay, well that's what this is. She starts to try making the most magnificent things. What happens? When she tries and tries and tries and tries, what happens?
She gives up.
Okay, she gives up. What else does she do?
She gets mad.
She got mad, right? She got frustrated, didn't she?
She exploded. That's what the book said.
She did explode. That is what the book said. Okay? So how can we write this?
She starts to explode.
Okay? Why was she mad?
Because she couldn't make the most magnificent thing.
Right? She tried a lot of times and couldn't make it. So how are we going to write that?
She tried a bunch of times but couldn't make the most magnificent thing.
Okay, and she got what?
Angry.
Okay, so she tried many times to make the most
Magnificent.
yep, magnificent thing, but got, what'd she get?
Angry.
Angry.
Because she couldn't do it?
Okay, angry because she couldn't do it.
Miss Phillips, I'm gonna go check on Mr. C for a minute, okay?
Okay, so then what happened? Was the last thing that happened?
She went on a walk.
Uh-huh.
Then she tried again and she got it right.
Oh, okay, so she went on a walk. She decided to try again. Uh-huh.
She went on a walk and she noticed how all her inventions had one thing that excites me.
Okay.
And then she added all the one things and the other ones, and she had that
Okay. All right. So how can we write this in a sentence?
She went on a walk,
Okay.
and
Can we say after her walk?
after her walk, she saw all of her inventions that had one thing right.
Okay. So let's write that. After her walk, she saw all her inventions that had one thing right. Okay. What else can we write there?
Then she tried again. I got it right.
Okay, so then she tried again and was successful. So she tried again and was successful. Okay. Okay, so now that we have found like the summary of the text, right? Do you think that we can now figure out what the theme was? Okay, hold on. I want you to think about it for a minute, and then right here in your heart, you're going to write what you think the theme is. Okay, so go ahead and write what you believe the theme is.
I can't write all the way through. If I wrote all the way through,
Mm-hmm. Okay, don't overwork yourself. What do you think?
Learn from your mistakes.
Oh, very good. I like that. Tell me more about that.
Because she kept messing up, but some things were right, and she kept learning that this thing was right. So she ended up adding all of it together, making a magnificent thing.
I like that. Thank you for sharing. Tell me.
I think the thing is to never give up, and if you get angry, take a walk and look at your mistakes, and you should learn how to make a good one.
Very good. How to make a good what?
Invention.
Okay. Yep.
I said the theme is to never give up.
Okay, tell me more about that. Why do you think that?
Because she didn't give up and she kept on trying,
Mm-hmm.
and she finally got the right. She finally made the right one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for sharing. You want to share, Bella? No? Okay, that's okay. Okay, so now what we're going to do, you're going to add a quick sketch. So in the center here of this, like where the green is, you're going to add a quick sketch of the reading to show your understanding of the theme. So what I want you to do is put the part in the center. You're going to illustrate the part in the center that represents our theme that you just told me about. Okay? So you're going to draw an illustration to represent what you just told me. Got it? If that's what you think like where the theme comes in, that's where we learn the theme. You're just gonna draw an illustration of your theme that you just came up with. What do you think that is? Okay, and then just below it, where that line is, you're gonna write a sentence to explain your thinking. Okay. No, of your illustration. Okay, so I want you to illustrate what you believe the theme is going to be, and then down below it, I want you to write a sentence to support it. What questions do you have?
Does it have to be from the book?
No. Okay, please begin. Okay, so let's share our work with each other now.
Would I go first?
Sure, I would love for you to go first.
Okay, so my I'm gonna read my sentence is you should try again and you should learn from your mistakes. And so from the first thing I said to start the thing was remember when I said that I couldn't make a cake.
Mhm.
So here's my bad cake
Mhm.
and then my good cake. Yeah, and then tried to make another cake.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
I put never give up and put a lady working
Mhm.
on something. That's simple.
Very good. Thank you for sharing.
Philip, your orange marker is weird.
Okay. What'd you draw?
What?
Someone standing at the table, working on the table.
Very good. Thank you for sharing. What about you?
With the dog.
I wrote "Don't overwork yourself," and I draw the little girl sad over all of the inventions described, and some of the inventions like on the pages and on the front.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
I don't even know.
You don't even know? Well, what'd you put for the lesson? Right here. You wrote it right here. What did you write?
Never give up.
To never give up. Very good. So how could you draw that? Maybe we'll think about it. Okay. So I love this book. This book makes me so happy. It's kind of funny. The assistant.
It is.
I love it.
And then the no distractions.
No distractions. Chase the
And
squirrel.
he's the one distracted. No distractions.
No distractions. Yeah. What else did you find funny in it?
That everywhere she goes, the dogs follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not really funny, but.
Y'all are silly. Well, I appreciate you all working very hard today. High five on your awesomeness. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, what's the theme? No,
Never
what
give
is
up.
a theme?
A lesson to a story, a moral.
Lesson or moral. What were you going to say, TJ? Well, tell me what you're going to say in your own words. Oh, good job. All right. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Good working with you.
It was good working with you as well, sir.